that just kind of gave us an insight as to how we don't always have to feel down about things necessarily happening that seem sad, about how things can always turn around and be happier for us. And I think that's something we really need to try not to forget throughout our lives. So this next piece I wrote just last week, someone had text messaged me and said that they were feeling kind of down, that some stuff had happened, and they weren't feeling too great. And so I thought about that. And immediately I thought that I could write them this really nice letter. This nice letter about how much I cared about them and how they mean a lot to me and how it's really important that we don't forget to talk about the people that we care about in our lives. And yeah, that would have been really nice. That would have been a nice thing to write. But I also thought that sometimes the letter format is a little tight. Sometimes we can just write and write and write and write this pretty rhetoric about how we really care about people, but sometimes we just need to see something from a different perspective. It's great that people care about us, but sometimes we just need a little insight as to some ways that we can look at things a little differently and try to be happier through that. So this piece I wrote is called Temperature, and it explores a rather different metaphor that I thought of when I was thinking about ways that I could try to uplift this person. This is temperature. Words aren't solutions, they're remedies. Remedies that may or may not work, but we try them anyway. You see, I could sit here and write and write and write and write. I could write a letter about how terrible things are sometimes. I could write a letter about how people just aren't very pleasant sometimes. I could write a letter about how sometimes things don't work out the way we want them to, the way we wish they would, the way that would be ideal. But all of that, it wouldn't fix the core issue. It wouldn't be an end-all, be-all solution to the problem, because the problem can't be fixed with the snap of our fingers, with just a few words quickly scribbled on a piece of paper or typed on a computer. But that doesn't mean everything's hopeless. That doesn't mean we should just give up on feeling any better. Sometimes our problems don't need to be solved. Sometimes our problems can't be solved. They can only be analyzed. The heat index is 120 degrees today. I walk outside and it's like walking into a fiery ocean of death. I definitely see the situation as a problem. Can I do anything about it? Well, to an extent. I can wear lighter clothing and drink a lot of water and try to stay inside as much as possible. That definitely doesn't fix the problem, but it's a remedy to the problem, and it makes things a lot better. But again, it doesn't fix the problem. I can't fly up to the sun and say, hey, you're being too hot, please stop. It's just not going to work. That's just absolutely not going to happen. But you see, it's that remedy. It's that remedy that's going to make all the difference in that situation. I'm not saying all of our life problems are on the same caliber as the temperature outside. If that were true, there would be absolutely no reason for me to be writing this. Sometimes we have issues that are obviously 5,000 times worse, more of a problem than it's being hot outside. But that doesn't mean that the metaphor of temperature is completely irrelevant. We all have comfortable, pleasant times in our lives, and we all have scorchingly hot, seemingly unbearable days. Throughout your life, remember that temperatures change. Things that seem to be baking in the oven at 350 now, they'll cool off in a minute. There are remedies to help you. Words, music, caring friends, they're all the aloe vera of our lives. Don't be afraid to follow them when you're about to pass out of a heat stroke, because everything cools off eventually.